All right. Hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me tonight? Hopefully you can. Get some adjustments. Sorry, I am running a little bit late. If you're we're tuning in for the 10 o'clock start, I was a few minutes late to that. Yeah, let me know in chat if you can hear my vocals okay. Hey, Lazy Donuts, hope you're well. Von Cody, Cragon, Citizen Kilroy, Mithrix as always. Tac Tea Kool-Aid. I hope I said that right. It's a cool name. Feathers. Okay. Hope everybody is well. Yeah. So, anyways, if you were getting there at 10 to see the start of the stream, I apologize that I was a few minutes late. I was getting a few things set up. I kind of learned something about Restream that I had problems with last time. So if you have been eager to know when I'm going to stream ahead of time, on Twitch and on YouTube, you should see a schedule now in my calendar. You should see a schedule of the upcoming streams. That might change a little bit once we get to IAE, because obviously at IAE we're going to cover a lot of stuff. Everything from the new ships to whatever new videos are released. Obviously, there's probably going to be a ship video release. That's always done. One second here, I'm going to move my chat over. Bear with me. So yeah, expect some IAE coverage, obviously. Hope you are all doing very well. Thank you all for staying up late tonight and hanging out with me. Going to talk about a few things tonight. Let me get my where's my notepad? Let me get my notepad up here. My notepad's not up. Okay. What are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about IAE a little bit, obviously. We are going to talk about maybe review some of the CitizenCon panels. I might play a little bit of Star Citizen, do a little bit of hauling. We might also, I've been thinking more and more about the ship video that was shown by John Crew and Ben Curtis, going over the ships going into production in the next 12 months. And two of them kind of are sticking out to me. One of those is the RSI Perseus, which I think we're going to learn a lot more about at IAE. But I thought it could be cool as we head into IAE, maybe reviewing the Perseus video. So we may watch that tonight. Another ship that I am really, really excited about personally is the Drake Ironclad. So we also may watch the Ironclad video, and because I just watched it the other day, so we may watch it again as a group if you are all into that, and pause at various moments and talk about certain things. So that is kind of what I'm thinking for tonight. It's just going to be a general hangout. Again, if we get bored talking about ships or gameplay features or anything cool, then we can definitely pop into the game and do some hauling. I'm still a little salty that CIG has not opened up 4.0 testing on the experimental branch. I know that Evo is getting to test it, but they're also letting Evo stream it, which means it's obvious that they're wanting people to see it. So why not open it up to all of us? Valacor, thank you for that follow. Big salute to you. Thank you so much. Tell your friends to come on over here to Twitch and give STARJUMP Graham a follow. I really appreciate it. Good news, though, too, for those of you following, right, on both YouTube and Twitch, I do have some really cool things to talk about related to IAE. IAE. Did I say that properly? Yeah. So I'm going to be doing some giveaways. I have reached down into my own pocket and picked out a few things I thought would be cool to do giveaways for. One of those is I picked up one of those, well, they had deleted it off the store, but then earlier today, they opened it back up. So Feathers Destinks is pretty bad on live right now. Okay, that's sort of why I thought I might focus on talking about topics tonight. But, and actually, let me double check, make sure I am. Let me change one thing in the title here. Sorry, I'm going to say let's discuss some Star Citizen. There we Oh, what just came in? Obliminal just subscribed. Obliminal. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I'm giving you the double salute for that. I really appreciate it. Again, those subscriptions, that support, those follows, they encourage me to do more content. They encourage me to do content that has, um, a cost overhead. Obviously, StarJump, we're known for doing projects like StarJump Fleet Viewer, for cinematics, for other content like that. So it allows us to do some of that because a lot of the 3D rendering and stuff we do is kind of expensive. So, anyways, they deleted the Avenger Sitcon starter pack, the one that comes with all the armors and all that cool stuff. I was able to pick one up, so that's going to be one of the giveaways. It is an Avenger Titan. It also comes with the Iron Weave paint, which is the coolest paint for the ship, as well as a full set of the RRS Arden SL armor. So helmet, backpack, all the parts and pieces. It also comes with a Bearing P6LR sniper rifle and 15,000 AUEC, 24-month insurance, and a Star Citizen digital download because it is a starter pack. So I'm going to be giving that away. I'm going to be giving a Crusader Intrepid away, and then possibly an Atlas, and then a whole bunch of StarJump posters. Okay, so that is my goal. Again, all this is coming out of my own pocket. These don't come from CIG or anything. I just wanted to be able to give back to my community and those of you all helping to support what I do. So I really appreciate it. So, and for those of you wondering, yes, I will be doing that for both the Twitch channel and the YouTube stream. So, for both of those, I'm going to do the exact same giveaways. Okay, so and if you're watching on both channels, then you might get a chance for both. I will tell you too, thank you for that follow, Gino. Appreciate it. Hope you're well. Salute to you. I will say too that if you're a follower of the Twitch channel or a subscriber to the YouTube channel, it does give you an extra like 25% chance on the giveaways. So, okay, let's get to it. Have I missed anything? Von Cody says, never had the opportunity to play in Pyro myself, so being able to do it, so it would be nice. I agree, Von Cody. I really agree. Usually I'm not one of those people that's like, well, Evo's playing it, so we should get to play well, that stuff. But if they're opening up for streaming, like if they're saying, hey, Evo's playing it, but you guys can stream it, you guys and gals, I don't know. It feels a little marketing to me. And in that kind of instance, I prefer they open it up. I prefer they open it up to at least to the experimental branch, right? Um, I thought that's kind of what the experimental branch was for, or the tech preview branch, or however they want to do it. So here's hoping they do that, because the optics aren't the greatest. I mean, when you look at who is, well, first off, I know quite a few people in Evocati, and they don't test the game at all. They get on and play. They might stream some content. They do stuff like that. They don't test at all or file any issue council reports and stuff. So, and that's not a complaint. They can do what they do. More power to them. I just think this is the perfect opportunity to open up and utilize the tech preview channel or the experimental branch or something if you're willing for it to be streamed, right? Okay, 1 second, everybody. A little bit of a cough tonight, I guess. Let's see. What is it? I think they don't want to take away from 3.24.3. Yeah, but I get that, Quinn. I guess I just don't know why they can't open up multiple experimental branches. If you remember, when they first came out with the experimental branch, they actually had 2 or 3 of them running at one time before, and each one had like different stuff going on. Do you remember that? Does anyone else remember that? Artemis, hope you well. Sup, bit off topic, but guess who Joe Rogan just edited? Who? What? Oh, and just endorsed. I don't know. Oh gosh, I forgot. It's election tomorrow. Oh geez. Oh geez. Is everyone else ready for it to be over? I don't. I'm so sick of seeing it. I'm so sick of seeing it. Um, let's see here. Infinite time to test some stuff. Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. Michael Phillips, so excited to walk through my Polaris in a few days. I am too, Michael. I really, really am. I'm a Polaris owner. I've owned the Polaris now for about, I want to say 3 years. I think I got it when I was about 3 years ago. By the way, sorry if I look like I'm dirty. Is because I was building a lot of stuff with my dad today. So that being said, yes, very excited to see the Polaris. I am really interested in that ship for a few reasons, and excited that it's about to come. I did see that the latest sneak preview said something about ready to land or cleared for landing or something, and there was the picture of the Polaris. Do I have that actually? Let me check to see if I have that, and we will bring it up. But yeah, I mean it's coming. It's coming quick. Coming very quick. Um, Yeah, here it is. I do have it. Let me open that up. I will gosh, why is it so big? That's so weird. Stand by everyone. Let me see if this will actually work here. It's being weird. Okay, there it is. Yeah, let me pop that over. Here we go. This is the image. Um I think the subtext for it was cleared for landing. So it's obviously the Polaris in the background. Um, I think this is a CSV SM parked under it, a couple people, and me, obviously that's me, looking at the Polaris and welcoming it home. No, I'm super excited for this ship. I'm also really excited to just see all the little intricate details, and I kind of love that so far we've only gotten that one fly through video of the interior. Um, Personally, I hope they just release the Polaris into the PTU for testing and skip the whole Evocati thing. So we'll see. I don't know if they're going to do that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Zero just raided sending the Kraken overhead. Holy moly, Zero. I really appreciate that, buddy. Double salute to you. Chaping and chaping. Giving you the double salute for that raid. Thank you so much, man. I haven't been raided in a while, and that was really nice of you to do, so I really appreciate it. Everyone following, thank you so much. Zero, did you have a good stream over there, bud? What were you up to? Were you playing Star Citizen? Did you have any luck? Monkey Monk, I feel very honored to get a Zero raid. Very, very honored for that. Always love a good Zero raid. You know, shout out to Zero State anyways, just in general. Just shout out to Zero because you know, Zero, longtime supporter of STARJUMP as a whole, and just has always been really cool to us. You know, even when we were smaller and, or, you know, when we're more active or not active, and Zero's just always been really cool. I've always thought really highly of Zero and his community. So thank you all for coming over here and hanging out a little bit with us. As I was just telling everyone in chat, tonight's a little bit of a mixed bag. I'm going to be talking about the Perseus. I'm going to be talking about the Ironclad. We may bring those models up in the in Cinema 4D, the actual the 3D models, so we can inspect them a little bit. May do a little bit of that. We may also watch the original videos that revealed those two ships. Again, just sort of getting ready and taking a harder look at some of the ships that are going into production in the next 12 months, right? Again, thank you everyone for the follows. You're legendary. I really appreciate it. Zero, I don't know how to thank you, man. I will definitely give you a shout out and try to return the favor again very, very soon. But no one sent the Kraken overhead like that in quite a while. So thank you so much, Zero. You are killer, dude. Valacor, thank you for that subscription, giving you the double salute for that. Sending the Kraken overhead. I've had a few javelins fly overhead, so I really appreciate it. If you've not followed the channel, hit that follow button on Twitch, and the javelin's going to fly right over my head in all of its epic glory. So yes, thank you very much. And hopefully you all will get a kick out of what we're talking about tonight. And if you don't, you're tired, you've been watching Zero for a long time, feel free to go rest. But obviously, if you're up for some more, hang out with me. We're going to talk about all kinds of cool stuff. Holy moly, we're getting all kinds of subscriptions. Thank you so much, everybody. I got to get my windows up here. Bunker Fist, oh my goodness, just gave out 5 community subs. Bunker, thank you so much, dude. Salute to you. Giving you the big quadruple salute for that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You're all amazing. I see some familiar faces over there coming into the channel. So thank you very much, everybody. So yes, we were just talking about the RSI Polaris. You can see it up in the image right here as the Kraken's flying overhead. RSI Polaris getting ready to finally come into our hands. I believe this ship was revealed, its concept reveal, I think was 2017. Chat, feel free to correct me on that. But that was in 2017 they revealed the Polaris. It went into it did its initial concept development and then sort of went on ice all the way until I want to say February 2022. In February 2022, the Polaris went into production, okay, and it was going to be the ship they worked on next. When it went into production, I moved a lot of stuff around in order to get it out of buybacks and all that kind of stuff. And then I went through a whole bunch of other stuff to not only get it out of buybacks, but also get LTI on it. Either way, it was in production for about 2 or 3 months, and then they took it off the schedule, and it went back into, no man's land for quite a while. Quinn says, wasn't 2022 just the reconcept? No, it actually did go back into full production for a very short period of time, Quinn. It was like 2 months. The actual ship team was working on it, not the vehicle concept team. But as we all know, what I think happened was I think they started working on it, and I think they found that there were issues with the ship and scale and some other problems. So they took it out of production and then sent it back to the vehicle concept team, and the vehicle concept team then started working on it again. So you're still kind of correct there, Quinn. I just think they started working on it, right after that. And from there, it went through its concept phase again. They went and sort of redesigned the entire interior. The ship grew from 150 meters to 168 meters, and then obviously they kind of revealed that they were working on it again. And specifically they started working on the Polaris because the Banu Merchantman came off the production schedule, right? And we all know why the Banu Merchantman came off the production pipeline schedule. So, and if you're not aware of why that happened, essentially what happened, to the best of my knowledge, and I do have some contacts and stuff within the ship team, but the best knowledge I have surrounding it is that the Paul Jones, the art director at the time at CIG, him and his kind of some of the other senior team members that were kind of part of his group, they all left kind of at the same time. I'm not sure if that was coordinated or they all went to the same place. I don't really know. But regardless, they left. And what happens there is that when they leave, they sort of take with them a bunch of inherited knowledge about what was being worked on, right? So I'm going to go over to Hangar Link real quick here for those that you don't know. Hangar Link is the STARJUMP. It's essentially STARJUMP Fleet Viewer. If you haven't checked out STARJUMP Fleet Viewer, please do. It's www.starjumpfleetviewer.com. Very easy. I will put it in Twitch though for easy linkage there. Sorry, I missed some chats here. Bear with me. Shimpasta says they're probably trying to figure out how to add hot tubs to the yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope there's at least one hot tub in it. D3 says, wasn't the RSI modular chassis idea that held that up? I don't believe I've heard of the modular chassis idea as relating to the Polaris. Um, not saying you're wrong, D3. If you have any more information on that, I'd love to hear about it. And again, thanks for coming over from Zero's community. Appreciate you hanging out with us. If there's a modular chassis related to the Polaris, I'd be really interested in know what exactly that is. Maybe that's some information I missed. Now, obviously, there's the RSI Galaxy, which is the modular ship. But CIG has now said that the Galaxy is being put on ice because it doesn't share enough assets with the Polaris, right? So let's bring up the Polaris. Let's bring up the Perseus, if I can spell, of course. Okay. So, the Polaris is what's currently in production, about to be released, and they're going to then move into the Perseus because there's a lot of carryover. But regardless, Paul Jones, his team left. They carried a lot of that Banning merchantman knowledge with them. So when they left, I think it just made sense for CIG as a whole to put a pin in that ship and come back to it. I could see some changes happening with the merchantman. Ben Curtis is now the art director, and I could see Ben, doing a pass on it. I'm still in contact with Paul Jones, really nice guy. I consider him a friend, but Ben Curtis is definitely a talented art director. We're seeing Ben's creative output in the Polaris. So if you looked at the Polaris and you were like, "Holy shit, that ship's amazing," then you should like what Ben Curtis does. Okay, he's got a really great eye, and the other cool thing about Ben is he's just a really much like Paul, just a really nice guy, really nice guy. So yeah, he sent me a really nice video message during CitizenCon, a private video message, which was great. It was nice to see. Let's see. Shimpasta says he's putting a prospector in it. Putting a prospector in the Polaris? If that's what you're talking about, Shimpasta, you could easily do that. There's plenty of room. D3 says, yes, sorry, didn't mean modular in that sense. Was more referring to the RSI scalable chassis idea, or am I speaking out of my radar? Okay, D3, I think I know what you're talking about. You may be referring to the RSI family of ships, meaning that where CIG is sort of taking on the RSI manufacturer as a family of ships, where they're going to borrow parts and pieces from the Polaris to make the Galaxy, to make the Polaris, all that kind of good stuff. Essentially, what happened there, to the best of my knowledge, and again, hopefully this is what you're talking about, but from the best of my knowledge, from what I heard from John Crew on Spectrum, and what I've heard just through the grapevine, is that the Polaris, remember, the Polaris is a military RSI ship, right? It is made for the UE Navy. And the assets that make up the Polaris, especially the interior, are more RSI military in design, right? Where the Galaxy is a civilian ship. So the Galaxy will actually need to borrow more heavily from ships like the Zeus, right? However, the Perseus is a military ship as well, so it can borrow from the Polaris. Now, the only caveat to that, and we'll see how CIG tackles that, the only caveat there is that the Polaris is, which way is the Polaris? The Polaris is the newest RSI ship, right? I mean, it's even supposed to, in lore, supposed to be a post Squadron 42 story ship. So the Polaris is a brand new ship, and the Perseus is a really old ship. Okay, if you haven't seen Astropub's video where he does the history of the UE Navy, which I highly suggest you watch. It's one of the best videos I think Paul's done. Hey, thank you for that follow, Drop Acid. Appreciate it. Also love the name. Everyone who followed, by the way, from Zero's community, seriously, thank you so much. I really can't thank you enough. Really, seriously. But the Perseus is really old. So, and he talks about that. So it'll be interesting to see how the Polaris assets are used in an old ship like the excuse me, the Perseus. I don't know how they're going to age them up or change them to make them feel older. So yeah, real quick here. Karmic Joke, thank you for that follow. Really appreciate it. I saw a question here. Let me go back to it. Question, Graham, do you think it'll be easy to reload the front gun? You're talking about the size 6 bespoke weapon, or are you talking about the front gun on the Perseus? Um, yeah, let me know what you're referring to, Sam. Are you referring to the Perseus or the Polaris? If it's the Perseus, I think we've actually seen it. We've seen some concept art. Let me see. Let's pull that up, shall we? Let's pull it up, shall we? Let me bring this up here. Okay, let's go to media. There was an image. This won't necessarily answer your question, by the way, but there is this image here, and you'll notice that. Oh, Sam, you're referring to the Polaris. Okay, I'll switch over to Polaris. On the Perseus's front gun, though, you'll see that it uses an auto loader, right? So it's the weapon, the ammo is effectively fed into a magazine, which is then fed through an auto loader. That's how that's going to work. Okay, let's go back to the. Okay, let's see here. Bear with me, everyone. Let me make sure this is working correctly here. Okay, let's go. Okay, let me pull the Polaris back up. Okay. By the way, quick note for those of you still wondering where the Argo CSV SM is, the supply module thing, it is coming. I promise. It might be able to be put in Fleet Viewer tomorrow even. I need to talk to Starlet and see if we can work that out. It is done though, and it's ready to be done. So I assume you're talking about the new size 6 remote turret. Now obviously what you're seeing here is the original size 4, I believe they put on there. The Polaris has been upgunned quite a bit. This model of the Polaris that you see here is the Invictus model. Okay, so what you're seeing here is the Invictus model. So there's been quite a few changes. Okay, the first one is that this front turret has been changed from a size 4 to a size a bespoke size 6 gun. Okay, sorry, got a little bit of a frog caught in my throat tonight. So this has been upgunned to a bespoke size 6, so a much bigger weapon, and it's a dual. These guns up here, and there's 2 on either side. I'll switch back to isometric view here. These 2 guns up here were originally dual size 4 man turrets. These have been changed to quad size 4, if I'm not mistaken. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think these are now quad size 4s. It's also possible that the turrets that are hidden inside these doors. Quinn says, yeah, quad size 4. Okay, great. So there's also quad size 4s hidden in this door here. This door slides open and reveals it. So, Fastcar is only now getting the Twitch notification. Fastcar, I'm so sorry, buddy. I hope you're well. Fastcar, we were just talking about the Banu Merchantman, not just, but a few moments ago. I'm sorry you missed it, man. Salute to you. I hope the Soul Citizens are doing well. Everyone, please give Fastcar a salute as well. Doing great things over there with the Soul Citizens, some of my favorite people in the Star Citizen community. So, we're talking Polaris right now. We're talking kind of just RSI ships in general. We're also going to talk about the Perseus and probably the Ironclad a little bit. Artemis says the Polaris bridge looks like it can disconnect similar to a lifeboat Endeavor. Yeah, it looks like it can, but it cannot. The Polaris has standard escape pods. I think they're located right here. As a matter of fact, they are. I'll go ahead and flip to top view. If you're wondering where the escape pods are, they're right here. They're these squares, these boxes. So 8 escape pods there, and I think there is 2 more back here. I forget where they're located though. I think there's 2 more escape pods somewhere here in the back. Valacor says, you think the Polaris point defense guns will function on release? They have the tech in the Idris, right? Oh, yeah. Thank you, Valacor. I appreciate you mentioning that. So that's the other thing is the Polaris comes with 6, or no, is it 7? I think it's 7 point defense turrets, which are size 1, fully automated weapon systems that are essentially meant to take down, incoming fire, essentially. Um, yes, that's correct, Sam. When IAE rolls around, or sorry, when the Polaris goes flight ready, we will be adding the new model to Fleet Viewer. We are also set to update a few other ships. We are updating all of the Vanguard series, so the Vanguard Warden, Harbinger, Sentinel, etc. Those are all getting updated to better visuals. We'll be adding the CSV SM. We'll be adding the we'll be redoing the Zeus. Okay, so all the Zeuses we're going to redo at their using their their game ready asset. So yeah. Quinn says yeah, 7 point defense turrets, 4 on top, 3 on bottom. Okay. Shimpasa says, will you keep the old model? I don't think so unless there's a need for that, but you can let me know. You can let me know. But regardless, going back to our original discussion, in regards to sorry, bear with me, everybody, regarding the Polaris and the carryover assets into the Perseus. Again, the Perseus is just a natural fit. John Crew has said that they're moving on to the Perseus as the next RSI ship. I do think, for those of you that are Perseus fans, I do think we're going to hear more about the Perseus at IAE. Okay, John Crew has stated that IAE is typically where they do new information on ship manufacturers. So I think that is where we're going to see stuff on the Perseus. Real quick, everyone, bear with me. I just need to open this up a little bit. Okay. So yeah, that's where I think we're gonna see that. Yes, we do, Michael. Do I have it up? Let me see if I have it up. Bear with me. Bear with me. I think I do have that, and I could even share that with everyone. Hold up. Pretty sure I do. Let's go to. I got too many folders. That's what it is. Okay, here it is. Is this the schedule? Day 2? No, that's SitCon. I thought I had it. Maybe I don't have it. Stand by. I'm looking quickly. Where did I put it? I know I had it. Oh, maybe it's here. Sorry. Coming up. Here it is. I'll open it and... Okay, so this is what we're looking at for IAE. To the best of our knowledge, we not to say this could change, but this is what it's looking like. Event will run from the 22nd of November to December 5th. Will be held at New Babbage on Microtech. The funny thing is that the title for IAE is the Next Frontier, which seems to suggest that what I think it means is that 4.0 might go to the PTU during IAE, maybe. So yeah, this is the current schedule from the best of our knowledge. It's Crusader Tumbrel Day 1. So the big thing on Day 1 is we're going to hear about the Crusader Intrepid, okay, which is the new Crusader starter ship. I am going to have 2 of those to give away during CitizenCon, or sorry, during IAE. I'm going to have two Crusader Intrepids to give away, so definitely come by the channel on my streams. For those of you that don't know what the Crusader Intrepid looks like, I do have an image of it right here on my other monitor, but I can't bring it up because I don't know if CIG wants it out there. It's not a full image. It's an early kind of thing. But what I can tell you is that the Crusader Intrepid looks really cool. To me, it looks like if the Spirit and the Ares were smashed together into a really tiny little asymmetrical ship. That's what it looks like. It's like it's got the nose of the Spirit, but the asymmetricness of the Ares. It is really small. I think it's going to be really fast. It's got a size 2 gun on it, I believe, or size, yeah, something, a big, yeah, gun on the other side that you can switch in and out. I don't have any stats really on it other than just a few things. It's got a cargo lift. It's got a ramp on the back, single seater. Yeah, so it's got an interior. Then we'll go to Aegis. So here's the interesting thing about Aegis for me personally. I'm very curious if CIG is going to tell us more about the Idris and Javelin work they've been doing at IAE. And you may be asking, and I'm not saying that those ships are going to be released. I think they'll be released, near Squadron 42, like CIG has said. However, what we do know is that they have made some significant changes to the Idris and the Javelin. Have any of you in chat heard or seen the changes to the Javelin or the Idris? Baylor says, didn't Chris say the Idris won't be held back because of Squadron and Last Citizen Con? No, essentially what they said, well, I don't know what Chris said actually. What John Crew said at Last Citizen Con, though, was that the Idris will come out with Squadron 42 and the Javelin will come out soon after that. Okay. VG says yes, and the Squadron 42. Let's see here. Quinn says hates the Javelin small engines in the Squadron 42 prologue. So one thing that's important to know is that, and I've had a couple people point this out, people will say that, oh, the Javelin in Squadron 42 prologue is like an old Javelin, so it looks different. I do not think that's the case based off the knowledge I've been told. I think the Idris and the Javelin received significant exterior changes. The interiors, I think, are mostly the same, but the exteriors have received significant changes. I can pull some of that up. Here is the Idris. You will notice first and foremost the engine changes. It's got these small engines up here now that are sort of cantilevered out, and it's got these V-shaped main thrusters now. And you will notice, if I zoom in here to this Idris, you'll see the Idris shares the exact same V-shape engines. Hey, New Soul Sounds, hope you're well. Miss seeing you, salute to you. You'll also see the Idris up here has significant line changes. Previously, the Idris angled straight down on the nose here. Now it's got these parts and pieces that sort of angle out. And essentially, what CIG has done is they just added a lot of little detail elements. Another great shot of that would be this one. You can see the Idris from the rear. Again, you see the V-shaped, chevron-shaped engines, the smaller engines here. The entire back has been redesigned. This tail section previously had a 90-degree angle on the end, sort of like a flat end. They've gone back and added sweeping edges to it. Again, just changing a lot of the lines. Some of these turret insets are quite different. What else do I have here? Bear with me. Yep, same image. What's this one? And that's the same image. I do have more, but you get the gist of it here. Oh, here's another one. And this image, you can very clear if you're as familiar with the if you're familiar with the Idris as I am, and I'm very familiar with it because I have the full game model that I'm able to zoom around and fly around and go on side and stuff. If you're as familiar with the Idris as I am, you can look at this and instantly see all the changes to the exterior. All these lines up here, these are totally different than the way the Idris currently looks in game. Okay, so so what we've seen here is a major change to the Idris's exterior. Okay, I think Bucket O'Fash, thank you for that subscription. Really appreciate it. Double salute to you. Hope you are well. Thanks for subscribing. Um, so a significant change. However, I don't think that this is special because it's an Idris M or because it's in Squadron or anything like that. Pops in Space, salute to you, buddy. I hope you're well. The reason these changes happened, and I'm not saying this from 100% knowledge. I've heard some things again from CIG people, that the reason these changes happened is to bring the ships up in quality level to match. Oh, we just got a raid from Axis 96. Axis, thank you for raiding. I really appreciate it. Giving you the double salute. You sent the Kraken overhead again. Thank you so much. We are currently going over some ship stuff, so feel free to hang out with us as we talk all about it. But I don't think this is that. What I think occurred is that CIG hit such a high bar with the Polaris that it really set a new standard for capital ship detail, right? In CIG had to bring up their hero capital ships, the Javelin and Idris. They had to bring those up in quality. If you go back and look at the current Idris and Javelin model, they pale in comparison to the Polaris in terms of just detail, right? Fastcart says, Grim, are you aware of any Bengal changes? Possibly some. Possibly some. It was a little difficult to tell, but we don't totally know if the Bengal in Squadron 42 is slightly different than the Bengal that we've seen in game. That one I'm a little bit more unsure about. Fastcart. Good question, though. North End Trooper, salute to you. I hope you're well. Thank you for the follow. Big Bad Dwarf. Appreciate that. So, yeah, you can see the changes here. We can go ahead and look at the, let me pull up the, is this it? Bear with me, everyone, here. Let me switch back to my other screen. Bear with me here. Appreciate you all being patient. Okay, here we go. So here is the Javelin, okay? The Javelin, as you see, it got its engines changed as well. It now uses the Chevron engines, those V-shaped engines. Now, I'll say for sure, I think these engines look way better on the Javelin than the Javelin's old engines. The Javelin's old engines looked very like slapped on. These look a lot more integrated. But here's the big thing to note. And again, I am someone who is very familiar with the Javelin. I'm going to go back here real quick. I'm going to move the Polaris off, and we're going to add a Javelin. This is the current in-game model of the Javelin. Okay. I'm going to, and here's what you can do. Just look at some of these lines, right? Let me move the Polaris out of the way. Okay. First off, you can see the taped on engines here, right? It's just a bunch of engines slapped on an extending rod. Okay. So they kind of stick out. The other thing is I want you to pay attention to just these general lines here on the front, right? You can kind of see these like little inset triangle elements, all that kind of stuff. Now, if I switch back to the Javelin, you can see here all that has changed. All of that's changed. I think this one piece here is remained, but all that's changed. All these greeble lines have changed. If I go back to this and look at, take a look at these little stabilizer fins, right, that stick out here. See how they're just flat? You can look at this top one right here. It's just flat, just a flat thing at an angle. If I go back to the new Javelin, you can see that there's an angle here. They actually are not completely flat anymore. They're angular. They've been given more detail. So where am I going with this? The Javelin Idris received, extensive changes. A little hard to tell on the Bengal. Now this is a Bengal variant over here. We think this is probably the battle cruiser variant. Thank you for that follow, Dark Wolf. I appreciate you. Salute. We think that, so with the Bengal, I think there's going to be multiple variants. The Bengal, obviously has its version we all know, which is the light carrier, and then, or is it just Bengal class carrier? I think it's Bengal class carrier. So there's the carrier, and then there is the dual turreted version, or sorry, there's a version of the Bengal that's not, no, it's not dual turrets. It's do I have an image of that? Let me see if I have an image of that. Yeah, this version here. This version here has the engines and looks like it has the runway, but there's a significant changes here. Don't totally know what this one is. This could be some sort of cruiser variant or something like that. Again, we just don't totally know what this variant is. And then there's another variant, which I don't think I have pictures of, that has a bunch of turrets on it, and that variant is the I think the battle cruiser, or sorry, no, the one with the turrets is the battle cruiser. The one I just showed, I don't know what variant that is. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, so we may hear more about that at IAE. We may hear more about those changes to those ships. I personally hope we do. Then we'll have the alien manufacturers. Then we'll have Origin. Probably won't be anything too new on those days. RSI. I think we're going to hear more about the Perseus that day. I think the Polaris we're going to get at the beginning of IAE, though. At least I think so. Okay, and the reason I think so is I think they're going to want the maximum amount of days for that ship to be on sale where you can actually buy it, right? So I think they'll try to release it up front here somewhere. Maybe it's the day before, and that way, all the way through IAE, the RSI Polaris is for sale. It's an expensive ship. You want to give it as big a runway as you can, right? But we may hear more about the Perseus. We may hear more about the Apollo. There may be some unknown RSI ships possibly coming. We don't know. Then we have Argo, Consolidated Outland, Greycat, and Kruger. We just got a huge info dump on the Pioneer. I don't expect them to talk much more about any of those. However, it's possible that John Crew could give us an update on the Pioneer officially going into production now. I kind of agree with you, Emu. I think it's possible. It's an outside chance, but it's possible that the Perseus could go flight ready at Invictus of next year. I think that's possible. Maybe unlikely, but possible. Drake, I don't think we're expecting anything new from Drake. I think the big question mark is how soon is the Ironclad going into production? That's a big question mark, and we don't know. We know it's going into production in the next 12 months, but we don't know when. Yeah, Metallica Mutant says Drake silhouette. There's that other ship that was in the ship videos of the Drake. It kind of, to me, looked like a Drake heavy fighter. So that ship could possibly be revealed or talked about. We don't know, but I doubt it. I doubt we're going to see anything on that. I do think we could see that Drake heavy fighter, though, at Defense Con, possibly next year during Invictus launch week. Then Misk and Mirai. Obviously, the big one here is going to be the Starlancer Max. For those of you that are into the Starlancer, Tomorrow at 11 a.m., I will be doing a Shipyard live episode, streaming both YouTube and Twitch. And I'm going to break down the Starlancer ship in all kinds of detail. I'm going to bring its model up. We're going to inspect its model, both the TAC and the MAX. We're going to just sort of deep dive it, right? We're going to go through the interior, all kinds of cool stuff. So tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time, yes, Fastcar, 11 a.m. Eastern, um, on YouTube and Twitch will be a StarJump Shipyard live episode. I've started doing the live episodes where we cover the Starlancer Max. If you caught me a few days ago, I did a StarJump Shipyard live episode covering all things Pioneer, and it went really, really well. So I think I'm going to do a lot of these Shipyard episodes as just live episodes now. Okay. And again, I don't promote you to buy ships that I cover on the Shipyard series. The Shipyard series is just aimed to give you as much information as possible about a ship so that you can make an educated decision on whether to buy it. If you go to our YouTube channel, the StarJump YouTube channel, you can find previous Shipyard episodes. I did one on the Kraken, the Crucible, the Endeavor, and the Banu Merchantman. Okay, so all four of those are over there. You can give them a watch. I'm really trying to get my Kraken episode over 100,000 views. We're real close, so give it a few views. I really appreciate it. But yeah, for those of you interested in Starlancer, though, I will see you tomorrow morning, hopefully. Midgards, thank you so much for that follow. Salute to you. I appreciate that. Thank you for that support. Sending the Javelin overhead once again. And then the big one, day 9. Sorry. Let's go back to day 8. I also think it's possible we could see the Mirai Guardian. Okay. Now, John Crew did say at CitizenCon that the Mirai Guardian will come before the end of this year. Just remember, though, that doesn't mean IAE. It possibly could come at IAE. It also could be just coming with 4.0. Okay, and 4.0 may officially release slightly later, maybe in early December sometime, right? So Midgar says, StarJump Grim, love your content. When can we expect the CSV on Fleet Viewer? Very soon, Midguards. I apologize about that. I am way behind the ball on getting that little vehicle in there. We had some technical difficulties with StarFab, which is how we get flight-ready ships and vehicles into Fleet Viewer. Those problems are being fixed, though. However, I went ahead and did it manually, so I do have the CSV ready to go. I just need to send it to Starlet to integrate. I will really try to do that tomorrow, Midgards, okay? I will really try to make that happen tomorrow. Let's see here. Thank you for that follow, Island Life Gaming. Really appreciate it. I'm giving you the salute, too. Thank you for sending the Javelin overhead. Really appreciate it. Again, the Shipyard series, tune in tomorrow for the Starlancer if you're a fan. Again, I'm going to break it down fully for you. Day 8 here, we could see the Mirai Guardian at IAE. It also could be a post-IAE 4.0 type ship, okay? So we'll see. The other thing, here's the big one. Day 9, Anvil. What are we getting? Well, we know we're getting a flight-ready ship from Anvil. We're getting the medical terrapin or the metapin, whatever you want to call it. We know that's coming. We know we're getting it. The ship is done. It is flight ready. So for those of you who've been wanting a medical terrapin, now's your chance. Now for the bad news on that. My criticism of that. Okay. I do think the terrapin is kind of an overpriced ship. That doesn't mean that I think badly about the terrapin. I think it's a cool looking ship. I think it's really nice. I would love to have one. I do not own one. But I do think the Terrapin is a bit pricey for what it is, right? It's a bit pricey. The medical Terrapin is going to be, you're going to be left with a weird decision. Like, do I just get a CAR or do I get the medical Terrapin that's a lot more expensive? So what could make the medical Terrapin not just a real expensive C8R? Well, we know it's heavily armored, but I personally don't know if that's enough. I think it's possible the medical Terrapin will have a tier 2 bed in it. Okay, so it'll have a slightly better medical bed in it than the C8R. That's what I think. It's possible it could have 2 medical beds in it. I'm not real sure. There's probably enough room, but what I think they'll do is I think they're going to give the medical terrapin the medical bed that's slightly better than the C8R to justify the cost. Because otherwise, how are they justifying the cost, right? Okay. And then last but not least, everyone is curious, and I think I saw someone mention it. Everyone's curious about what Anvil could announce at CitizenCon, right? Are we going to get some sort of Anvil capital? That's the big question, big question mark. So I'll give you my thoughts on that. This isn't inside knowledge or anything. This is just me giving you my opinion. I don't think we're getting an Anvil capital ship, at least not right now. The reason I don't think we're getting anything like that is because back a few years ago, when there were rumors of this like Anvil capital coming, I was told that when the Liberator was revealed, that was the Anvil capital that they were talking about. Like I heard that from a CIG employee that the Liberator was the Anvil capital everyone was speculating on. Now you might say, well, the Liberator is not a capital ship. It's 125 meters long. It's technically considered a large ship, and you would not be wrong. However, CIG and John Crew definitely use the term capital a little bit loosely. If you were watching this year's CitizenCon, John Crew, or no, I'm sorry, back up. If you read John Crew's Spectrum posts right after this year's CitizenCon, you might notice that he actually calls the Perseus a capital ship. He specifically says in his Spectrum post, he says the Perseus will be the next Anvil or the next RSI capital ship going into production. The Perseus is smaller than the Liberator, just so you know. The Perseus is 100 meters. The Liberator is like 125, 126, something like that. 119, something like that, right? Where I'm going with this is the word capital is a little, all over the place. If you asked me what I consider a capital ship, Nimrod, thank you so much for that follow. I really appreciate it. Everyone, thank you so much for the follows tonight. I'm only 20 away from 2,700 top followers, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Got another follow. The great MC Gamers, thank you so much. Appreciate it, gamers. Salute to you, buddy. I really appreciate you doing that. That's right. We're one closer. Thank you so much. So yeah, I consider a capital ship. I don't really relate it to size. To me, a capital ship is any ship that has capital components, right? So if it has capital components, it's a capital ship. That's the way I look at it. Devourationly, did I say that right? I'm going to call you Devour. I hope I got that right. Thank you so much for the follow. Salute to you as well. You're all really legendary. And again, once again, for all of you that came over from Zero's channel and decided to stick around and hang out as I ruminate about spaceships, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I really, really appreciate that. So let's go back to let's clear the canvas real quick here. So we're going to add we'll add the Perseus back. Yep, 100 meters. I just wanted to confirm that. And then the Liberator's, oh, okay, the Liberator's 119 meters. Okay, so both of these ships have been referred to as capital ships by CIG, but to the best of our knowledge, neither one of these ships has capital components. So I don't really know what they're doing there. The great MC Gamer says, hey, Grim, is the Polaris considered a capital ship? It is absolutely considered a capital ship. It has been referred to by CIG as the smallest capital. Okay. What does that mean? It could mean that it's the smallest sized capital. However, again, the Polaris is 168 meters long, and CIG has referred to the Perseus as a capital ship. Okay. City Gamer 028, thank you so much for that follow. Salute to you. But 100%, 100% the Polaris is a capital ship. It is full capital components all the way around. It is supposed to be the smallest and newest of the capitals. Okay. It is a Corvette. Is it a Corvette? I think, yeah. Polaris Corvette. Yes. The Polaris is a Corvette class ship. Personally, I think CIG should sort of go back and sort of recategorize their ships, right? Steve Ender, thank you so much for that follow, everyone. We're ticking close to 2,700 followers. I could not do it without you all. Everyone coming over from Zero's group and everyone coming in from just the original start of the stream. New people join in as we've been talking here. Thank you so much. You're all amazing. Says here, question, could the Perseus get a redo and get bigger? Shimpasta, I think it's possible the Perseus will grow a little bit. However, the Perseus is pretty new. As a matter of fact, let me go. The Perseus is from fall 2028. Okay. And or sorry, what did I just say? Fall 2028? I'm an idiot. Fall 2020. It's fall 2020. So it's a pretty new ship. I don't think it will grow very long personally. I think if it does grow, it's going to be, I don't think it's going to grow any more than 110 meters. And the only reason I think it could grow over 110 meters is just for some metric adjustments. Possibly to make the engineering section a little bigger. That is something I'm noticing, is that CIG is putting so much more effort into the engineering sections of ships now that engineering is going to be such a big deal. So if it does grow, I think it'll grow specifically because of engineering. Hey Ezra, hope you're well. Salute. Thank you for hanging out. Yes, T3. Sorry, yeah, no. It tells you how tired I am. 2028. Yeah, I'm losing my mind. Yes, Squadron 42 has been out for 2 years now. It is hard to keep track. It really is. So, that being said, should we watch the Inside Star Citizen on the Perseus, and we'll stop and we'll discuss it? Again, I think that the Perseus is, thank you, Fast Carp. Appreciate it. It's already, yeah. So we'll watch a little bit of the Perseus episode. Again, I think that it's always good when a ship is about to be talked about or about to go into heavy production, which I think the Perseus is. It's always good to kind of go back and review what was originally said, right? The Doc Robin, thank you so much for that follow. Oh my gosh, we're getting closer and closer. Salute. I just looked over and saw a bug crawling on this ladybug crawling on my wall. We're going to let her live. Thank you, Doc Robin, for that follow. I appreciate it. You're all amazing. Real quick, everybody, who would like to see the CitizenCon, or sorry, the IAE poster for this year that I'm working on? Would anyone be interested in seeing that? Let me know if you are. Okay, everyone says yes. So as a lot of you know, every IAE and every Invictus, I create a new STARJUMP poster, right? We've done and we do poster giveaways, right? Do I have an example of that? Let me go. Do I have let me check, see if I have a poster screen here. I don't know if I do. I don't right now, but I will show it to you. Okay, let me pull up the IAE post. I'm going to be giving away 2 posters this year. Take a minute. They take a minute to open because they're so big. These posters, by the way, are posters that are printed at 3 feet by 2 feet, possibly 4 feet by 3 feet, depending, and then they are sent to you. So they're an actual physical poster. Okay. So I'm going to save these out here. Bear with me. Hopefully I don't crash my computer. Let's see. Bear with me. Thank you for the follow, Big Cheese, getting us closer to 2,700. Thank you so much. Okay, let me switch over here. I'm in Photoshop. I'm going to show you how this poster's looking. Let me bring up my other screen. You're currently on the left monitor. There it is. Okay. There is the poster. It has every ship and or vehicle CIG has ever done. The reason it's not done yet, you see some empty slots down here, is those are going to be the new ships revealed at IAE. Okay, I'm going to get those in there as well. I'm going to do some additional design work in here. This is just the base layout, but you see it has the IAE 2954 logo, STARJUMP Fleet Viewer logo, all of our credentials that we usually have, and again, that's all. I don't know how many. I think it's over 200 or something. Joel, I'll definitely, or sorry, Fast Cart. When I finish with it and we're giving them away, I'll definitely call out. I definitely call out that you know, some of the facts on it and list how many ships are on it. But again, if it's a Star Citizen ship, it's in here. I'm going to zoom in. You can see them all here. Just countless ships. Every ship that you can think of, from the Pioneer to the G12 to the Avengers to the RSI Lynx, the Carrack, the Orion, the Odyssey, the Cutters, the Spirits, every ship that has been made, excuse me, has been made, Javelin. You'll even find things like, excuse me, the Retribution, the Atlas, all that kind of good stuff, the Rangers, just everything. They're all here. So we'll be giving away, I'll be giving away some of these. I'll start to give these away the day before IAE starts. So I'm going to stream every other day during IAE, and every single stream I'm going to give 2 of these away, so that you see here, I'm calling this the contact sheet poster, right? So it's going to be, I'm going to give 2 of these away every day. I think IAE's 9 days, 10 plus, you know, like 10 days. So that's 20 of these I'll be giving away. Okay. And then the other poster, let me bring that up. The other poster I'm giving away, I'm still working on this one too, because I'm updating it to have all the latest ships for IAE as well. But the next poster is one you've all seen before. Let me share my screen again. And that is our Star Citizen size comparison chart hero ship poster. This contains, this has been updated to some degree, so I have the Star Lancers in there. I've got the CSVs all in there. I've got a placeholder for a Zeus that I'm pretty sure is coming. I've got space in here for the Crusader Intrepid. I've got space in here for the Anvil Terrapin medical variant. So once those ships are released and I have the imagery for them at IAE, those will be plugged in. And oh yeah, I should get the Raptor in there. That's a good suggestion. I need to maybe do that. So this is the other poster. So both of these posters, I'll be giving 2 away every day I stream. Okay. So actually, no, my numbers are wrong. So I'll be streaming 5 days during IAE, because it's every other day. Each stream I'll give 2 of these and 2 of the other one. So that will be, I'll give away 10 of these and 10 of the other poster. Kraken says, what, the second Nautilus? Yep, there's 2 Nautiluses, Nautilus Solstice and the regular Nautilus. Let me zoom in here. There we go. The Nautilus Solstice and the Nautilus, technically the same ship, just different paint jobs, but the reason I list it as a unique ship is because it is a different SKU, right? It is a different SKU. Erickson says, where is the Pegasus? It's not on this poster, but this poster also doesn't have the Bengal and stuff like that. These are all player ownable ships. Or at least currently player ownable ships. We just found out at CitizenCon that we will be able to own ships like the Bengal and stuff like that. So yeah. But yeah, the Pegasus isn't on here. However, if you are a fan of the Pegasus, you can bring the Pegasus up in Fleet Viewer. that's something you want to check out. It is kind of a big ship. There it is. This is the old variant. We are not sure if this variant still exists in Squadron 42. We'll have to see. It is 920 something meters long. But anyways, those two posters I'll be giving away. I'll be giving away Crusader Intrepid starter packs, Atlas robot suits. I'll be giving away one Avengers Sitcon starter pack, which contains all those armors and all that cool stuff. So definitely hang out with me during CitizenCon. Lots of cool stuff. Okay, should we watch? The Perseus episode, and we'll pause and kind of talk about it as we go. Does everyone want to do that? I says, is the Perseus winter camo paint limited SKU as well? So that is actually just a paint, and it's a Chairman's Club paint. I think it's called Thundercloud or War Thunder, Thundercloud, I think. And you have to buy it as a Crusader, or sorry, as a concierge member. However, if you can buy it off a concierge member, or a concierge member can gift it to you. So it's not currently for sale, but we'll see if they put it back on sale. All right, let's start it up, and we'll pause here as we go, but let's kind of review what the Perseus is supposed to be, and then that will give us a good baseline of where we think it's going to go, and when we hear more about it. And again, I do think we'll hear more about it at IAE. Hopefully you can all hear that.
So this ship is really a military ship. It's about destroying other big ships.
Because it's so formidable that you're in a fight, and if somebody turns up with a fleet and it's stacked full of gunships, you're just going to be like, oh damn.
Cool, thank you,
Fleet in
Fast
Star Citizen is sort of built around a capital ship, or capital ships as its core.
I'll pause real quick. Devour. Unfortunately, I am not allowed to sell the posters with my agreement with CIG, because I do have agreements with them in regards to Fleet Viewer, as well as posters and stuff I do with the ship art. I am not allowed to sell it. However, I like to give them away. So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and announce this. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, I'm going to do my STARJUMP Shipyard Live episode stream where I cover the Star Lancer. Maybe we'll give away the first one on that show. How about that? But either way, I'm going to start giving away a lot of them through IAE, okay? So you'll have a lot of opportunities to get one.
So you have the Javelin, which is a destroyer, so that is designed for really duking it out with other big capital ships. You have the Idris, which is a carrier, so can sort of take on other big ships. It's got a big railgun on the front, but primarily it's there to deliver fighters. And then you have the Polaris, which is a long-range torpedo boat. And you have the Hammerhead, which is a great anti-fighter screen. But what we're missing is this hybrid role that sits between the Hammerhead and the Polaris, that is your fleet defense ship, that is moderately large size and capable of dishing out firepower to deal with large ship threats that aren't quite capital ships.
It has been a while since we've done an RSI ship. Obviously there are some in the fleet already, and then you take all those and you fold in the functionality.
When we designed this ship, it was obviously built around the concept of having these large turrets, that you had a bridge on the front, but it sort of just felt like a Polaris with a turret on the top and the bottom. And for a ship of this style, having that bridge at the front didn't quite sit well with us, so we then tried alternates with a more traditional bridge, taking cues from the Bengal, and that.
So it's kind of interesting there. If yes, I agree. John Crew's beard color is magnificent. Also got a little video message from him at SitCon, which was really, CitizenCon, which was really cool to see. So if you heard John, what he just said there, though, was that when they were originally exploring the Perseus concept, they actually had a version where the bridge was up at the front, like the Polaris. The funny thing is, one of the things that I think people love the most about the Perseus is that it has the back bridge where it sits back, on the middle rear of the ship, and you kind of overlook the front of your ship in that big turret. So I think that was a good change for the Perseus. And it's just interesting to see I would love to see a lot of their original concept art for this.
That definitely looked better, but then has the knock on that the upper front turret has a blind spot behind. So we had to make sure that the rear turret could not have a blind spot there, and then deal with the point defense system turrets to help alleviate those spots.
You want it to look aggressive, but you also want it to be unique. You want it to look like it's part of the family. When you see this ship, you know you're in trouble. That's what players are looking for.
So originally the brief for the ship was a real skeleton crew of 4 men. So you had the pilot, the captain, and the 2 turret gunners. But
so let's pause there. For those of you that may be considering a Perseus, and it is definitely a ship you have to weigh, right? How important it is to you, and why am I saying that? Because the Perseus is an expensive ship. I do think the Perseus is overpriced. I think it's too expensive for what it is and its size. I also say the same thing about the Hammerhead, right? I think the Hammerhead is also overpriced. However, I do think they're overpriced specifically because they are big military ships. But the big advantage of the Perseus is what John just said. A skeleton crew. This thing can operate with a crew of 4, okay, and operate pretty effectively. Pilot, co-pilot, who was, let's go ahead and just call them engineer, right? Pilot, engineer, your 2 main turret gunners. You can work to very, very close to peak efficiency with 4 people. You probably work better with 5 and even a little bit better with 6, but with 4 people, you're not sacrificing too much, okay? Where with the Hammerhead, 4 people, you can't operate the ship. I mean, you can't man all the turrets, you all that kind of stuff. So that's a key selling point of the Perseus. You want a big ship, but you don't play with a lot of people, or you don't have a big group to run with. The Perseus is really the best option.
as we developed the ship, it sort of felt a bit odd that such a small crew was operating such a relatively large ship. So the crew size for the ship is 6 man. That gives you a pilot, captain, 2 manned turret guns because the S7 twin turrets are manned, and then it leaves you with these 2 extra roles that are really flexible in terms of what you want them to do.
So we wanted to layer in all the functionality that John wanted, but also make it easy to navigate. It should be clear for the player at any point.
So let's pause there. Let me back up just a tad. So if you look, the ship has got a relatively simple layout, which is nice. It's not a huge ship. It's 100 meters long. It's considered a large ship by sort of definition. It, as a matter of fact, a good sort of rule of thumb will be the Star Lancer when it comes out. The Star Lancer is only a little bit shorter than this ship. Okay, this ship will fall between the Star Lancer and the Hammerhead in size. So Star Lancer, Hammerhead, Perseus kind of sits right there in the middle. Okay, but again, you have your main turret access, front turret access, your main rear bottom turret access. You have a little causeway that moves into your main cargo area. We do know there's a ramp, supposedly a ramp, or no, I'm sorry, it's not a ramp. It's an elevator, a lift right there. So you can pull up cargo, you can pull up a vehicle. It looks like we got a crossover kind of gangway that goes above the cargo area. That then leads into, I think this is probably like habitation or whatever. We'll see a better layout here in a minute. And then on up to things like the armory. I think there's a captain's quarters, and then the bridge. Again, oh, and this probably back here is probably engineering. So again, not a lot to the interior of the ship.
But also make it easy to navigate. It should be clear for the player at any point what part of the ship they're in. And it's split over 3 decks. So the lower deck is your cargo and access to the lower turret. And then you go up, and then that's sort of the main deck, and that goes from front to back. You can reach your front turret.
Right there. So this is the mid deck. You can kind of see the main turret access again. This here, you see these little long tubes here. This is a torpedo room. This ship can fire, I think, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Quinn, you may know the answer to this, but I think this ship can carry 24 size 5 torpedoes. 20? Is it 20? Okay, 20 size 5 torpedoes. That does sound right, Kraken. That does sound right. So this ship carries a sizable amount of torpedoes, right? In addition to the 2 main guns and the multiple point defense turrets it's going to have. I do think it's going to get an extra point defense turret, just FYI. But so it carries quite a few torpedoes. Here's our gangway that sits over our cargo area. Gangway takes us back, and off to the side here we sort of have habitation, or sort of the common living area. Over on this other side we have habitation. Here's our bunks. Okay, up in here, I think these will borrow, all this stuff is going to borrow very heavily from the Polaris. And then all the way back we get to our captain's quarters, okay, at least on this level.
Torpedo room, or you can go right back into habitation and the captain's room. And there's also a central lift for ease of navigation, basically. And then the top floor is bridge, escape pods, and engineering section.
So here's the one thing, and this, someone was asking if the Perseus is going to grow, okay? Here's why it possibly could grow. It's got the bridge area, it's got the armory, lift, all that kind of stuff. And then they call this engineering. This is the smallest engineering room I've ever seen for a ship this big. I could see this expanding significantly. This ship lacks a robust engineering space to do all that engineering gameplay we know is coming. So if the Perseus is getting bigger, okay. Oh, Paul Muad, thank you so much for that follow, Paul. I really appreciate it, everyone. We are so darn close to 2,700 followers. I think we're only 14 followers away. Can you believe that? 14 followers away, and we're at 2,700. I never thought I would get that high, so thank you all for the follows. I really appreciate it. Salute to you. So those of you that are wondering if engineering is going to get bigger, maybe it will. Okay, they did call this an engineering area. I'm going to back up.
And there's also a central lift for ease of navigation, basically. And then the top floor is bridge, escape pods, and engineering section.
Okay.
So
bridge, escape pods, and engineering section. So it does feel like we don't have a big enough engineering area for the Perseus. So I do think that's going to change.
For a player, it should all be quite straightforward.
I think this ship really will add something.
There are its torpedo tubes. I could see those changing. Night Raven, thank you for the follow. Big salute to you. Thank you so much. I do see these possibly changing. They're kind of a weird kind of shape. We see on the Polaris that they just turned them into classic circular areas. So I could see that changing on the Perseus as well, it getting sort of a circular torpedo tube. Jack Rail, hopefully I said that right, Jack. Thank you very much for the follow. You are amazing. Salute to you as well. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Everyone is amazing here. 2 raids, including from my old friend Zero, and then new friends raiding, as well as our original STARJUMP crew watching from the start of the stream. You're all incredible, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So let's keep going. EWG Weasel, thank you for the follow. Salute.
We've already seen
sending the javelin
of that
overhead
with the Invictus launch week. You've seen the capital ships.
We're now
in-game.
10 away,
There's
people.
obviously the hammerhead in game already.
Thank you very much, Paul. I
in-game,
appreciate
you'll
that.
also
Thank you
have
very
much more
much.
of a
I hope
rounded
you get a lot
field
of great
to
usage
play
out of
with
it. Thank
that
you.
will provide a great threat and deterrence to other players.
The RSI Perseus is the latest.
Okay. So that's our bit on the Perseus. Okay, we're gonna go back to that in a minute. Oh, there's our Pegasus sitting large and in charge there. Is that another follow that just came in? I can't keep up with you all. You're amazing. Kai Dells, I'm terrible with names. Kai Dells, I hope I'm saying it right. Salute to you. Thank you for following. Thank you for hanging out with us. Tim, let's see. Tim the Enchanter. God, I hope I got that one right. The First Tasty. Oh my gosh. Thank you all for following. Really, really appreciate it. I hope to see you in future streams that I do. Again, don't forget, tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., I'm doing a STARJUMP Shipyard live episode where I will do a complete breakdown of everything we know about the Starlancer Max, and I'll even bring the model up in 3D, and we'll explore it, all that good stuff. Zambi, thank you for the follow, giving you the salute as well. Thank you for coming in there and doing that. Oh, man, they keep rolling in. The Fire Beans, I love that name. Thank you, Fire Beans, for that follow. We're now at 2,693 followers. You're all amazing. I can't say enough about it. You're all amazing. So that's the Perseus. We've kind of reviewed what they had to say. The Perseus is interesting because it's really a kind of a simple concept, right? It's a small skeleton crew gunship with 2 dual size 7 man turrets, 20 size 5 torpedoes, and some point defense turrets, and that's about it. Carries a little bit of cargo, but it's made to do one thing, and that is brawl. It's a brawler, right? Rycon, hopefully I'm saying that right. Rycon03, thank you for that follow. Salute to you. Thank you for hanging out with us. I appreciate it. But we do know that the Perseus is heavily armored. It's supposed to be on the slower side, okay? So, again, it's a brawler. It's a tank, right? It's supposed to get out there and just... It's going to be an excellent ship for Xenothreat, by the way. This is going to be a killer ship for Xenothreat. Puddly P. I love that name. Thank you so much for the follow, Puddly P. I really appreciate you. We're now at, we only need 3 more follows, everyone, and we're at 2,700. 3 more. Can you believe that? I'm still blown away by everyone hanging out and supporting the stream tonight because it's just kind of a random chit-chat stream. I didn't even have anything big planned. Oh my goodness. Okay, we got more rolling in. We got Midgard. We got Soulbiss. Oh my gosh, the follows just keep coming. Wipernator. That's a hell of a name. Zachary Film Army. Oh my goodness. Thank you all so much for the follows. I'm giving you a quadruple salute. All of you. There we go. Okay, got it out. Okay, we are at 2,701 followers. You all did it. You all did it. Okay. All right. That's a big thing. You are all amazing. Thank you for those follows. I'm blown away. I really am. I'm blown away. Because of that, I don't have my giveaway stuff set up now, okay? Because I wasn't planning on doing that this stream. However, because of all that support, here's what I'm going to do. Starting on November 21st, well, actually, no, starting tomorrow. Black Cat, thank you for that follow. Elizarin, thank you for that follow as well, giving you the salutes. Starting tomorrow during my shipyard stream, okay, at 11 a.m. Eastern. I'm going to stream for 2 hours. I'm going to cover the Starlancer. I'm going to go ahead and give away 2 STARJUMP posters. Okay? 2 will be given away tomorrow. And then on Thursday night, I'll be doing another stream. I'm going to give away another 2. Okay? Another 2. Tim Jim says, hey, Grim, any chance you can make a 3D viewer version like Starship 42? That's a great question, and I will go ahead and answer it. Unfortunately, no, Tim Jim. I will not be able to. So the answer to why, and I'll go ahead and say Starship 42 is an awesome website. I am friends with Lunfacy, the person that created Starship 42. We have actually exchanged some 3D models to help each other out. I highly support what he does, as well as other people like Urkel and stuff, who I'm also friends with. The difference between our 2 platforms is that Lunfacy uses low fidelity assets, low fidelity 3D models to display them. And since they're low fidelity, he can show the entire 3D model. You can spin it around and look at it and all that fun stuff. STARJUMP Fleet Viewer, we use high fidelity 3D models, so very detailed 3D models with full texture sets on them. Because of that, they're too heavy from a 3D model cost perspective to be able to display in real time where you could manipulate them, unfortunately. However, that being said, one of the things I want to do is add a 360 hero rotation for ships. So what I would like to be able to do is, say here the Perseus, I would like for you to be able to double click on the Perseus And when you do that, it does sort of what Starship 42 does, where the camera zooms in a little bit on it, and then the ship just does a 360 rotation kind of animation. Okay. I want to do that. There's a bit of a lift to do that. Not sure when it will come or when I'll get to it, but it's something I want to do, Tim. But yeah, support Lunfasy as well over at Starship 42. Starship 42 is a great site, and I really like him. He's an awesome person, and use them together. That's what me and Lunfasy say. If you need the 3D flexibility, use Starship 42. If you want, the high detail stuff, use StarJump Fleet Viewer. Isom says, could you make partially animated 3D wallpapers for PC desktop? Well, I'm glad you asked that. That is something I am working on right now. I've been working on that for a little bit. A lot of people let me go back to my full face thing real quick, and let me go back to my other background. So I'm going to turn off my camera for a minute. Okay, just for a minute. A lot of people like my Orison wallpaper. It's a really long video of ships flying through Orison. A lot of people really like this. So because of that, I am working on several different animated wallpapers. So that is something I'm working on. Yes, Giant Grim. There we go. Okay, so we talked about the Perseus, right? We talked about the Perseus. We had all of you amazing people. Oh, Charge Motion, thank you for that follow. Salute to you. Thank you very much. We had all the great support from you all. So we're guaranteed to give away some posters tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern on the StarJump Shipyard stream. We'll be doing that because of all the crazy support you've done tonight. So thank you very much. So try to show up for it. Okay, try to show up for it. And I'll give those posters away. And sometimes I get a little giveaway happy. So if we're giving away 2 posters, maybe I'll give away 4. That happens sometimes. Okay, so we talked about the Perseus. I do think we're going to hear about the Perseus, at IAE. Personally, I think we're going to hear about it. Another ship we saw, though, and I'm going to go to the still here. Another ship we saw, where is it? Is this? They showed this in their, what ships are going into production in the next 12 months. And this was on the list. This was one of the big surprises for me. EWG, yes, there'll be a YouTube version for download. There'll be a digital version of the posters for download. Yes. Please make some wallpapers in 5120 by 1440. Also, like the ultra wides. Yeah, I've had a couple requests for that. I need to do that. So this, Jeff, I want to. Sherman is my favorite landing zone, so I want to do that. This is the Ironclad. This is the Drake Ironclad. Now, for those of you that know me, you know that I am a Drake fan, right? I have a Drake coffee mug. It's not up here right now, but I have a Drake coffee mug with the Kraken logo on it. I pledged for a Kraken. I love the Corsair, even with its nerf. I love the Corsair. I love the Ironclad. The Ironclad is to me, one of the coolest looking ships out there. Okay. So when I saw this in the video, I was a little shocked, right? With all the big heavy ship lifts they're doing this year, I did not expect for the Ironclad to be going into production sometime within the next 12 months. Why is it going into production? I think there's a couple reasons. One, I think Drake ships are an easy sell in that by creating the Ironclad, that gives them bigger pieces to make, possibly newer Drake concept ships that sit in that large category. Drake ships sell very well. Remember, the Cutter is currently, the Cutter is currently the highest selling ship in Star Citizen history, right? So that's important. DePoets, hope you're well. Salute, buddy. DePoets does excellent content for those of you not familiar with him, but I'm sure all of you are. DePoet's really nice guy. Does amazing PC and tech content. So welcome, DePoets. Hope you're doing well. Depot says, I think they need the Ironclad production because of the Kraken. So you're exactly right. So that's I've been told the very same thing by CIG ship dev, some of the dev team members on the ship team. They do want to get the Kraken made. That is a thing. They want that to happen. That doesn't necessarily mean the Kraken is coming in 2 years or 3 years or 1 year, whatever. But what I do know is that there is a desire to get the Drake Kraken into development. And I think the Ironclad was one of the main reasons, or is the main one of the main reasons for even concepting and coming up with the Ironclad was to sort of get us to the Kraken, right? Which they've sort of said that, but I've been told that pretty bluntly. One of the interesting things about the Ironclad, though, and you may find this interesting, is I was told that the Ironclad is the Drake Corvette. Take that for what it is. And again, remember how I told you that CIG sometimes uses ship class names a little loosely, right? They use the word capital kind of loosely and apply it to ships that aren't really capitals. There were some rumors, I forget how long back, but there were some rumors of a Drake Corvette. I have been told that the Ironclad is the Drake Corvette. I've been told that pretty darn officially from people that would know for sure. So, take that for what it is. So let's go. So what I thought is, because they revealed that this was going into production, it's one of my favorite ships. This is the ship that will eventually get us the Kraken. This is a Gavin Rothery designed ship, I believe, along with Ben Curtis and John and the whole ship team. But I think Gavin had something to do with this ship. I'll need to ask Gavin. Gavin, again, one of the freelance CIG ship designers, does amazing work. So I thought this would be another ship that would be good to kind of remind ourselves a little bit about. So I thought we could watch the Ironclad video on this. Again, we'll stop and start on anything interesting that pops up. There are some interesting things that will pop up in this video that I think that may give us a little bit of hint on how important this ship is to get into production sooner rather than later, right? So meaning all we can really do is speculate. Is the Ironclad a ship that's going into production now or early in 2025? Or is this a ship that won't go into production until November 2025? We don't really know that. We're speculating, but there are some clues to suggest that the Ironclad may be being prepped for going into production soon. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch it.
2 of our Invictus Launch Week coverage as we look beyond the event to the new offering being unveiled at this year's Drake DefenseCon. The far superior brand excluded from the usual Invictus festivities because it's too damn cool. I said it, and I'm tired of pretending it's not true. Drake for life.
These sentiments were recorded in April before that rap beef stuff, and Disco would like it known that K-Dot is king. Hashtag Westside. Also, that David is the best. Woohoo! Now we resume the program.
Let's force John Crew to talk about it now.
Here we go.
So in the Star Citizen universe, we have a lot of cargo ships, but they're sort of concentrated around the lower end of cargo hauling, sort of the low hundreds, SCU and below, and the very high end where there's multi-thousands. There's a mix of cargo ships which have their cargo on the inside, ones on the outside like the Hull series, and we really wanted to bring something different where it's sort of sits right in the middle. It's a nice progression step and facilitates both internal and external loading of cargo, which is where the Drake Ironclad comes in.
You're going to hear this a lot during this this talk on how the Ironclad is a progression step. They mention it in regards to cargo. They mention it in regards to stepping towards the Kraken. The Ironclad was definitely a ship that needed to be made just to fill out the asset list for Drake, right? Because the biggest Drake ship we have is the Caterpillar, like flight ready ship. So. Agreed.
The Drake Ironclad is the kind of next step up
for Drake cargo ships. It kind of builds on what the Caterpillar brings, but in a much larger form.
The Drake Ironclad is a 6-person, multi-crew, armoured freighter. A large proportion of the ship is dedicated to the cargo bay at the front of it, which has both a front ramp for loading and unloading cargo and small vehicles on the ground, as well as a retractable roof for doing that in space with EVA as well.
Again, when buying ships, especially if you're pledging with real money, first off, there's nothing wrong with buying a ship simply because you like it. You think it looks cool, and that's it. That can be the only reason, and you're welcome to buy it. You have your own money. You can do what you want to do, right? Another important reason you may want to consider a ship is when it's designed in such a way that this is the only way I can really say it. It's almost designed in a way where they're really considering the player and the player's time. Oh to hell, thank you for that follow. Really appreciate it. Salute to you. Thanks for hanging out. In sort of valuing your time, I kind of look at the Pioneer reconcept in that same vein, right? To me, when they redesigned it, redesigned the Pioneer, they were really thinking of the player and everything they needed. This thing, the Ironclad, I feel like they were doing a lot of that too. They looked at how can we build this ship so that we don't put any artificial ways to limit the ship. It's going to be a cargo hauler. We've got 2 big open ways to get cargo in, both in orbit and on the ground. It's got integrated tractor beams, all that stuff. Again, they made it and designed it to do its job that it's supposed to do really well, right?
Tight entrances to cargo ships doesn't necessarily lend itself to when you're out in deep space and you're trying to quickly move some cargo from one person's ship into your ship. Really, you want as much kind of access to be able to do that as you possibly can. So by having this kind of much larger opening on top of the ship, it allows us to kind of bring cargo in much easier.
So its role being a sort of armoured freighter comes from 2 distinct ways. One, the cargo itself is more protected. It's within the cargo bay that has the armoured roof section that covers it. So unlike, say, a Hull C where the cargo's on the outside, you can load it from the outside but then protect it with the Ironclad.
It's also more heavily armoured than the Caterpillar, so it kind of gives a little bit more security to your kind of precious cargo.
The exterior, very classic Drake brutish styling, a whole lot of engines and a lot of framework and quite thin structural elements.
So for people like me, for those that don't know, I am a yeah. Exactly, DePoets. This thing screams aerodynamic surfaces all day long. So for me, for those of you who don't know, and for those of you that this is kind of like your first introduction to STARJUMP or myself, I am a designer. I work in the film and television industry. I am a visual effects supervisor and creative director designer. And so design language, design aesthetic is very important to me. And what he just said is one of the number one things that makes it to me. It makes Drake, my favorite ship manufacturer. It's sort of like what they call like brutalist styling, and big chunky structures, but contrasted with really thin framework and really thin greeble sections on the ship that sort of encase the large brutalist bulky parts and pieces. And again, it creates a really interesting shape language. You'll see it in if you just look at factories and stuff and a lot of like industrial design, you'll see that same thing happen. And a lot of times it's big, brutish kind of parts and pieces surrounding by gangways and other cool stuff like that. Kadesh, thank you for that raid. Oh my gosh, raiding with 16 viewers. We've had a few raids today. Thank you so much. Thank you for those follows. I had another follow I missed. I'm so sorry. Let me go back to that. Full Glass, thank you for that follow earlier. Salute. Kadish, thank you so much for raiding. I really appreciate that. We've had several raids tonight, and that's the most I've had in a long, long time. So I really appreciate that. Definitely follows coming in now. Thank you. If this is the first time to my channel, I really appreciate it. I am STARJUMP Grim. For those of you that don't know STARJUMP, we are the maker of the STARJUMP Fleet Viewer. If you haven't checked that out, please go to it. Just pop the link down there. We also do on our YouTube channel, we have a bunch of fan-made cinematics. We have a series called STARJUMP Shipyard, where we do deep dives on ships. We've done the Kraken, the Endeavor, the Manu Merchantman, the Crucible, and when we do them, we do all new visuals for them, where we do 3D models and rendering and all that kind of cool stuff. So we try to do Star Citizen content. We try to do it a little bit differently than a lot of the other people out there, and that's not to put them down. It's just that they already do what they do very well, covering the news and all that stuff. So we don't really get into that, but we do try to do unique content. And, again, a lot of people know us from STARJUMP Fleet Viewers. So thank you for hanging out. Thank you for coming over. Thank you for those follows. 13 Fantasy, Master Viper, Draco, excuse me, L Arterial Zeus. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm terrible with names. And Bro Lyroily. God, I hope I said that right. I'm terrible, and I'm also really tired. So thank you. Thank you for those follows. I really appreciate it. Gidloo coming in with the follow. Thank you so much. So yeah, that's one of the things I love about Drake and the Ironclad. Oh, heads up for everyone who just joined. If you're interested, tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, tomorrow, I'll be doing a stream, and I'll be doing one of my STARJUMP Shipyard live episodes. STARJUMP Shipyard is where we deep dive a ship, and we'll even bring up its 3D model in the 3D in my 3D software that I use, Cinema 4D. Excuse me. And we fully explore the model. We look at how big it is, what it will sit on, what will go into it, all that kind of stuff. We check out details that other people haven't seen, all that kind of good stuff. And I'll show you more about what we do here in a little bit. But let's keep going. We're watching the Ironclad video because the Ironclad is going into production in the next 12 months. So we're kind of catching up on what the Ironclad is and sort of what that original concept vision for it is.
Support the rest of the ship, very bare bones styling. It doesn't have lots of nice padding. It's all there and exposed, and it's really just sort of rugged and to the point. So the Ironclad is really 3 distinct areas. You have all the accommodation in the rear sort of third of the ship. The front 2/3 is really just this cargo bay with the front entrance and the retractable roof.
It's got a lot of open space in this ship.
And then you have the command module, which has seats for the crew, plus a few little jump seats for everyone else. Command module is there to steer the ship when it's attached, and the command module serves as the escape pod as well. The only time you really want to detach it is in an emergency. It's not designed to be your sort of primary ship flying around.
It kind of gives you a little...
Real quick on the command module. I have heard some people say that the command module is the same one from the Caterpillar. I'll go ahead and tell you it is not the same one from the Caterpillar. They look very similar, but the one on the Ironclad is actually bigger and a good bit longer. It's probably at least 20% longer than the one on the Caterpillar. Okay, now I still think you'll be able to interchange them. So I think a Caterpillar command module may be able to dock with the Ironclad. I'm not really sure, but I can confirm that the command module on the 2 ships are different. I think the reason they are different is that the command module on the Ironclad actually has more jump seats in it, and I think that is because of the bigger crew that the Ironclad demands. So that's one of the big reasons. The command module also, I believe, has bigger components in the Ironclad version. I was able to bring the command module from both ships into 3D and compare them side by side, and they are definitely different. Charles Motion says, so I'm a motion graphics artist and I work with Cinema 4D. Is there a good place to find high-res 3D models of the ships? To find high-res 3D models? No. You can get the hollow models, though, that are off the website, okay? If you go to RSI website, you can go to Hollow Viewer. You can look at the Hollow Viewer for every ship. You can download that model from the website, convert it online, and then open it in Cinema 4D. Just know that Motion that it will not have textures on it, okay? All the ships in STARJUMP Fleet Viewer, so all the ships, in Fleet Viewer here, I either texture all of those in Cinema 4D, or if it's a flight ready ship, we export it via StarFab. Okay, so the ones from the RSI website just don't have textures to it. Okay, but if you want to know how to do that, I do go over the process of pulling the hollow model from the website and converting it for Cinema 4D. I do go through that on my Shipyard series. So if you want to tune in tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. or just watch the video, the recorded video on YouTube later tomorrow evening, I will go through, excuse me, I will go through how I do that. It's a pretty simple process actually to get the model. Okay, let's keep going.
Little bit of a get out of jail free card if you're transporting stuff that is quite valuable, quite sought after in maybe some of our less desirable systems. What it allows you to do is kind of have a little bit of security. So if you're getting attacked or you're getting yourself into trouble, if you want to save yourself, you can kind of jettison your cargo and try and get out of Dodge and kind of get out to safety. And I think that's like a really important thing as we get closer to Death of a Spaceman.
With some of the recent tech that's come online, this brought us one step closer to implementing command modules properly. So not only will you see this detachable command module feature on the Ironclad, but as well it will happen on the Caterpillar.
Interior-wise, you've kind of got two entrances onto the ship. You can either enter via the command module, and that takes you straight into a kind of corridor section. It's kind of like, almost like a mezzanine. You can either go up to the habitation area.
Let's pause for a minute. So when you see this kind of model work here, just so you know, they're very clear to point out this is a concept mesh, okay? For those of you that don't recognize the software they're in Blender, okay? So they are in Blender. Motion says, cool, tomorrow's my birthday, taking the day off from work, I'll tune in. Awesome. Yeah, tune in, 11 a.m. Eastern time on YouTube or Twitch. I'll be streaming, and I'll go through that. Motion, if you're in there, remind me. But I did write down a little note here on the side to go through the process to grab the models and do that conversion. VG says, question, Crucible to be a small shipbuilder maybe? Possible. That could happen. I do think the Crucible is going to get a major reconcepting on par with the Pioneer, meaning like a full rework of like what it is and what it does. So, and happy birthday, Motion. The poet said it best. Happy birthday. I hope you have a great one. All right, let's keep going. Oh, so going back to this model, sorry. So this is a concept mesh. However, for those of you that know how to look at certain things within the concept mesh, there's little things that do look like they're prepping the ship to actually be built. Okay, so I can say that. I said good day, sir. I love that name. Thank you for following. Appreciate it. Salute to you. Hope you are well. Let's keep going.
Corridor section. It's kind of like almost like a mezzanine. You can either go up to the habitation area, which is top floor of the ship, gives you like super nice views out both the kind of cargo out the front and the rear of the ship, or you can kind of come down the ship into the main habitation area. Alternatively, you can enter through the dock and collar airlock, which is on the opposite side of the ship. At the rear of the interior of the ship, we've kind of got the heart of the engines. It's the big...
So why do I say some of the clues lead me to believe that this ship is sort of, even when they were concepting it, they were kind of setting it up for eventually going into production sooner rather than later. And that's just because of the level of detail and lack of detail that they're giving this concept mesh. Again, I'm speculating here, but they're very clearly blocking out where components are going to go. Some things are just rudimentarily kit bashed in there, almost as if they're like kind of laying out the groundwork. They didn't just try to make a pretty concept model to like make concept images out and sell. It's very clear here they're putting some thought into specifically where things are going. So instead of just saying, oh, here's engineering, this is where the engineering room is, they're actually showing engineering, showing some components, and also listing out here where the power plant is, where the quantum drive is, where the power plant is. They're kind of getting a little bit specific. So, you know, it doesn't mean that when they were concepting it back here, it doesn't mean that at that time they knew, hey, the Ironclad will go into, you know, production in a year or two. It's just when you've seen as many concept meshes as I have, especially the ones from CIG, I thought it was interesting this one was done this way. There was some differences in the amount of layout planning that they did. Okay. Sam says, question Grim, do you think the size 6 bespoke weapon on the Polaris will be easy to reload the weapon after it's been depleted? Yes, I'm pretty sure it's ballistic, but CIG has mentioned in the past that there's going to be some way to feed munitions into some sort of magazine. They've never brought it up again. I don't know if anyone else in chat has seen them say anything about that. What I do think is they may put some sort of I guess I would call it kind of like a mini freight elevator, but imagine a small little freight, like a box, essentially, a little elevator box that can fit 1 or 4 SCU boxes or something like that. Maybe it's a 4 SCU box or 2 SCU box. And then I think that you will be able to set your box of ammo, the physicalized ammo, in there. It closes, takes it down like a little freight elevator, and essentially loads it into a magazine. That may be future, though, because they haven't really brought it up anymore. Wild Lurker says they talked about ammo boxes this year in an ISC, right? I think they did, Wild, and I think it was like a brief mention, but I do think they mentioned something about it. In the short term, that size 6 bespoke weapon, you are just going to be able to reload it pretty easily. Well, no, it's just going to have its full ammo count in it. Yeah, we'll have to see. That'll be interesting. They should talk more about that. All right, let's keep going.
Kind of engineering area where we've got all of the kind of main functional components needed for moving such a large ship. And then if you kind of come slightly further forward, got we call it the kind of like the command deck. It's not a bridge, you can't fly the ship from it, but it's where you operate.
I'm just going to point out, I really hope CIG changes this. I would love to still be able to fly it from the command bridge. Does anyone agree with me? Again, I love the command module. I actually don't mind that it's asymmetric and off this side, but I think there's a little bit of a missed opportunity to not allow it to be flown from the command bridge also. We need to protest, okay? No, I partially want to like send a message to Chuck Crew and Ben Curtis lobbying for a secondary flight position on the command bridge. And the way I think they could do it is do it much like the Carrack, where it's you can fly it from that upper level, but you can still fly the ship. So okay, let's continue.
The tractor beams, it's where it kind of gives you good views out over the front and into space. You've got the tractor beam turrets, but also, visually you can kind of stand in this area or sit in this area and look out over the front and over the bow of the ship and kind of really see what you're trying to pull in or what you're trying to capture into your cargo hold. As we come downstairs, we've got a little kind of covered area at the rear of the cargo hold, and that is where you can store a couple of small ground vehicles or some of your equipment for moving vehicles and cargo around. And then you're into the main cargo hold of the ship, and this takes up the majority of the interior space, is this large cargo hold. One of the things that we were kind of really keen to do was give lots of different views and different angles down into this cargo hold. Again, as we're exploring slightly less lawful systems, we wanted to give the players as much opportunities as we can to kind of be safe aboard their own ship. So either side of the cargo hold, we've got these gantries that run completely front to rear on the ship, and they give great view down into your cargo bay. They also give that opportunity of if there's someone tries to board you via the cargo bay, it gives you some nice cover opportunities. And we've also got a few little windows that kind of look down into it as well. As you move to the kind of like the very front, the very nose of the ship, those gantries lead into a kind of secure cargo area. It's somewhere that's a little bit more difficult to get to when you kind of enter the ship. The big thing we were referencing when we were looking
Oh, sorry. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I was just saying that the kind of protected cargo area is something that I wish they would change. I would much prefer that to be like an area that had like a crafting machine in it or something. I don't know. I think that'd be really cool. I don't know how much the protected cargo area is going to be used by me personally.
At it was this idea of police evidence rooms. So these kind of individual cages where you could put your most secure cargo, whatever it might be, in this
Everyone, I'll be right back. I'm going to let this play, but I'll be right back.
area, and it would make it quite difficult to try and breach in or out of that area. So it gives us just somewhere a little bit more secure for kind of smaller cargo items. Finally, at the very front, we've got access to one of the main turrets and the tractor beam turret.
The biggest attraction for me with it is just the versatility of the cargo space. From a good citizen law standpoint, it is a cargo ship, but also that retractable roof and the tractor beams on board it give it some less legal opportunities for perhaps taking other people's cargo ships in space and on the ground. At the time of recording, we're also exploring a more military-themed variant of the Ironclad. It doesn't have a name yet, so we'll just call it the Drake
Ironclad Assault.
Compared to the base ship, this has been developed to support ground assault operations. It has additional turrets covering the upper and lower surfaces to provide more fire support. And the front section of the cargo area has been redesigned to enable our largest vehicles in game to be deployed from it, such as the tank. In addition, the cargo bay has been reduced in size to facilitate an onboard repair facility. So for those of you who want to have a journey in the cargo profession, traditionally you would start out in something, say like a Hull A. The next step up from there really is sort of into Drake Caterpillar territory. So you're doing roughly an 8 to 10 times jump in cargo capacity. From there, the Ironclad sits nicely between those smaller ships and the much larger bulk carriers such as the Hull C, and then ultimately you get to things like the Hull D, E, and Kraken at the end of the cargo career.
You said Kraken.
Yes.
Was that a hint at anything?
It's not a hint at anything, but making the Ironclad makes the Kraken easier.
So building out the Ironclad does, of course, kind of help us with building out the Kraken. I think increasing that visual library of assets that we can pull from and use in a Drake manufacturer at the right scale is super valuable for when we move on to the larger ships.
Of course, in non-Drake related news, players...
All right, so Ironclad Assault. Should be fun watching all of us. So yeah, you know, the Assault is an interesting thing. It's got the repair area, again, not the same as like crafting or something like that, but I do think we could use another Ironclad variant. Personally, I don't think they'll do a base building variant, partially because, sorry, I'm out of breath, partially because I think they are going to focus on the 4 core base building ships. So the hover trolley, the CSV FM, the Star Lancer build, and the Pioneer. I think they're going to focus on those. But I do think we could get possibly a version of the Ironclad that possibly builds like vehicles, so like a fabrication variant. I guess they call that a manufacturing variant. We heard that we could get a manufacturing variant of the Galaxy. They talked about the manufacturing module, remember? So not the base building module, the manufacturing module. So I do think we could get that in the Ironclad. That'd be really cool. If they announce that, I would 1000% get it, like 100%. So we'll see what they do there. I'm going to real quick bring up something. Bear with me, people. Where's it at here? Bear with me. So, for those of you that are new to the channel, I'm going to open something here. Okay, let's turn off my left monitor. Okay, I'm loading. So I am in Blender right now. Blender is free 3D software. If you've ever wanted to learn 3D, you could definitely go download Blender. And what we're doing now is we're looking at the Invictus model of the Polaris. Okay, you can see all of its details. This is sort of what we do on STARJUMP Shipyard as well. So again, when we go look at the Starlancer tomorrow, we're going to pull up its 3D model, inspect everything. The cool thing about being able to inspect these models, and we'll probably do this on the Ironclad tomorrow too. Again, we may cover the Ironclad a little bit, sort of like post cover the ships we talked about tonight. But tomorrow will be mostly about the Starlancer. But again, we were able to zoom into these models, check out some of the finer detail, look at certain things. One of the nice things too is that we can actually go to certain parts of the model, click on them, and find out exactly what they are in the file name, because a lot of times they are named correctly, right? So that's generally what we do on Shipyard. I plan on doing the full breakdown, like I said, of the Starlancer Max tomorrow. On Thursday, I'm going to be doing another Grim Plays stream where I'll be playing Star Citizen. If you want to hang out, talk with me, I'd love to have you on there. Generally, when I play Star Citizen, I also talk Star Citizen, right? So I talk all about, gameplay features and stuff like that. Less about the ships, although we do cover ships. When I'm playing the game, though, I talk a lot. I talk a lot about like the future gameplay loops and play experience of Star Citizen. So yeah, Shipyard, all about the ships. My play sessions are all about Star Citizen gameplay. And then there's nights like tonight where it's just Grim talking Star Citizen, where we just talk randomly about things that are kind of interesting that are maybe upcoming. Let's see here. Sam says, will the Starlancer speed up bigger MISC ships? Sam says, real quick, I'm going to go back to the, let me see. Yes, to answer your question, yes, it will speed up bigger MISC ships. It will. Sam says, Grim, why not do the stream on Wednesday? It's a national event tomorrow. Yeah, I know that. I kind of didn't realize that when I scheduled the stream. Why not do both, right? Why not do both? We might just do both. Motion, thank you for that subscription. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Salute. So maybe we'll do both. We could do a stream on Wednesday as well. Nothing preventing that, right? I've already got one scheduled tomorrow and sort of blocked out some time for it. So we'll see. Blender may have crashed. That's okay. Let me get off of this real quick here. Good old Blender. But yeah, maybe we'll do it both. I knew there was, I kind of went after I scheduled it, I was like, oh man, yeah, there is an event, but that's okay. We can hang out for a bit. It'll be a casual stream. Maybe you're standing in line and you have your earplug in and you can follow along. Again, I'll do it earlier. So I remember the stream will be from 11 to 1, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So the polls will be still open for many, many hours. Counting won't start till later that evening. So if you're one that likes to follow the election coverage and all that kind of stuff, you shouldn't miss it. Obviously, there's just a 2-hour block of time there that if you're voting at that time, you may miss the show, but that's okay. Again, all the shows are recorded and sent to YouTube, so you'll be able to definitely catch up on it, Sam. If you miss the episode, no worries. Obviously, voting is a very important thing. So if you miss it, you'll definitely be able to catch that record. Okay, review on a couple things, everybody. Tomorrow, I'll do a Shipyard episode. I'll be giving away 2 posters during the episode, 2 STARJUMP posters. When IAE starts, and I'll be doing a stream on Thursday. When IAE starts on November 22nd, the day before that, on November 21st, I'm going to do a pre-IAE stream. On that stream, we will begin our poster giveaways. I will give away 2 posters of the STARJUMP Design A, the ship scale poster, and 2 posters of the STARJUMP thumbnail contact sheet poster. Thank you for that follow, Bobster. Really appreciate it. And then every time I stream during IAE, which will probably be every other day, I'll give away 2 of each of those 2 same posters. I'll also be giving away 2 Crusader Intrepid starter ships, the new Crusader Intrepid. I'll be giving away an Avenger Sitcon starter pack, which comes with the armor, the guns, the Avenger, and the Avenger Ironweave paint. I'll be giving away one of those. I'll be giving away an Atlas mech suit. And then I might, maybe, we'll see, I might give away a bigger ship. Okay, more on that later. I'm working some strings. There might be a bigger ship to give away. Those of you that remember during Invictus or following, I gave away an RSI Polaris with LTI, right? If you were following the channel back then. And that went really well. The Polaris was one. Might be doing another big ship, okay? So more coming on that. I think that mostly covers it. I had a lot of fantastic streams tonight. I really, really appreciate that. I cannot say enough about those of you that came in from all the raids, you know, especially so many people coming in from Zero's raids and stayed, right? And hung out, talked with us. There wasn't a bunch of people that left. That was great. This was kind of an impromptu stream as well. So the fact that you all hung out really, seriously, means a lot to me. Especially I hadn't gotten a lot of raids in quite a while. So for everyone that raided the channel, thank you so much for raiding. I really appreciate it. Seriously, thank you. I'm going to send out personal thank yous to all 3 raiders that hit me up tonight. So again, I really, really appreciate that. That's going to be it. Again, catch me tomorrow, 11 a.m. For STARJUMP Shipyard. I'll see you then. If something pops up and that stream can't happen, which it's election day, who knows? If something pops up and that gets messed up in any way, then I'll do the stream either tomorrow night or we'll do it Wednesday during the day. Okay, I promise we'll get it some there, but I'm currently planning for 11 a.m. tomorrow. Anarcha Ren, thank you for that follow. LSU Rich, thank you for that follow as well. Again, thank you both. Giving you the salute. Thank you so much. I'm going to send you over here on Twitch. I'm going to send you over to a friend of mine. Talked with him at Equinox. Just an awesome person. Really, really nice. Very gracious to me. He's got a big crowd over there, but we're going to send all of you over there. Please give him some STARJUMP love for me. We're going to send you over to Henkin. Again, please give Henkin that love. It's been a little bit since I've seen him, but he's a really nice guy. Everyone, thank you for hanging out. I really hope you'll come and hang out with me for future streams. I love you all. Thank you so much. Do a nice deed for a stranger. Talk to you later.